Thank you so much, Mary. We have a couple of things that we want to do before we actually show the launch, show the lights work up. Is Simon in the room? No, Simon. He just stepped out. Okay, so as soon as he comes back, we'll have him share what they're going to do afterwards. I have a couple of people that I would like to just acknowledge as committee members before we get going. Charlotte Rossnick is Stig Aspen, Moni outside Lake and Otsig began. So my name is Charlotte Ross, and I grew up literally all around Montreal Lake because we lived in Timber Bay, Mullinosa, Yakman, and my parents and grandparents lived at the south end of the lake and also Little Red. So we have two reserves, Montreal Lake 106A and 106B. So I always say I've lived everywhere, and now I live way down south in Rosetown. But I've been the project coordinator for the Montreal Lake Cree Nation Cree Language Project, and the app is one of our outcomes. But before I go into it, I just want to ask Simon.
Just adding right there, I'm going to say. Sige that. So I'm Bert Stiason. For some of you that might not know who I am, I just want to say thank you very much to our elder, that Pastor Kinamagawa. I just also want to recognize some of our special guests that are here, of course, and one of them being Laura Burnoff of Métis Nation, Saskatchewan. Thank you very much for being here. And of course, Charlotte, and also Citiban, and Kevin. Thank you for all the hard work you've done to make sure that this is a possibility, as well as our Cree language committee. For those of you that didn't realize, our committee here have been meeting very constantly, and I was having lunch with Citiban, and she was talking a little bit about that process, of how important this work is. So I just wanted to mention that as a thank you very much, on behalf of our school. Thank you. We're always proud to have our community being kind of bragged about. And so this is one of the things that you should be very proud of as students, because this doesn't happen everywhere. The amount of work that Charlotte does to make sure that this happens is amazing. And at the same time, she's doing her PhD. You're almost finished. How much longer? She's going to be done in June. That means she's got a doctorate in philosophy on Indigenous language revitalization. For those of you, give her a round of applause. Thank you. For some of our students, so this is how post-secondary goes. You finish grade 12, and then you go 4 years to get a bachelor degree, and then after that you take another 2 years to get a master's, and after that you take another 4 years to get a doctorate. So she's gone to school for a very long time. And at the same time, she's sending over all the paperwork to make sure that this happens, and I know that 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, she hardly sleeps. And every time I talk to her, she's either over here. At one time I was phoning her up, and I think she was in Arizona or somewhere in the States. But she goes to school at the University of Victoria, and I'm about 2 years behind her doing the same thing. I'm trying to get my PhD at the University of Victoria, and it is very hard work. So with that said, thank you very much. So after our presentation here, we also have another follow-up presentation. So the other job that I do, because I am part-time director, I come here once a week and I make sure that I answer all the calls when the counselor, the chief of council, or the school committee need me. I make sure I respond accordingly. Also the principal and the vice principals, if there's any issues, I also make sure that I prioritize my time there. But also, because there's also some of that flexible time, so half-time work, half-time pay, I always say. So of course I gotta make sure that I pay the bills at home as well. So I took out a contract so I can work on behalf of our people in northern Saskatchewan. And what we have is L'Orange Band, Peter Valentine Band, and Montreal Band are what we call Tier 1 communities. So from 1951 to 1992, a lot of you kids here that are in grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, your age, you would have to be sent to Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, L'Orange, or even some of the kids that were sent here to live with people in a house. Sometimes there'd be 3, 4 people living in the same house. They were called boarding homes, private boarding homes. So if you know anybody, even if it's after 1992, because some of the federal government took a lot longer for Indian bands to start taking over the programming, they might still be eligible. So if you know anybody that category 1 is $10,000. Category 2 can go all the way up to $200,000. So if you have any questions, or if you have any, sometimes even, Laura, this would be very important for you, because some of our people were non-status back then, and now their status, they can still apply. And some of them got their Métis status. They should still be applying, because we're also we're always going to say, if you're within that timeline, you should apply. So if you have any questions after our presentation, there's a table over there. But I honestly, I don't want to take any thunder away, because this is why we're here, and then we're kind of piggybacking on the crowd that we're going to have after summer. So with that said, Judy.
Give her a round of applause again.
We still need weeks ahead. So Simon helps me a lot in all the work that we do here for the Cree language program. He said Chief and Council. So if we didn't have the support from Chief and Council and leadership, it would be really hard to do our work. But Chief and Council put this as a priority in the last election, as well as in 2020, I guess 2020 and 2023. So that's why we're here. I just want to ask Kevin if he could come forward and just say a few words about LifeSpark, and so you have an idea what this thing is that we hooked into, tapped into. Mamata usitzigan is how we say it in Cree, because it's like a mamata way. It's a very amazing thing.
That's it. I am Montreal, from Saskatchewan. How I started with LifeSpark, well, I'll tell you a bit about the backstory bit. I used to be a computer teacher up at Cumberland House, and I saw there how a lot of the grandparents knew their language, spoke the language. A lot of the parents understood the language but weren't really speaking it, and then a lot of the kids just didn't know the language, and that kind of broke my heart, and I wanted to use some of my skills as a computer programmer to help the kids in the computer lab. So I started to make some software and some games and stuff in the computer lab that the kids could use, and like elders and students recording Cree voice clips and stuff for those. And I left the community there and kind of put that on hold, and then met an elder at a funeral a few years later, and she kind of gave me a whack on the head, not literally, but said, you better get working on that again. And by then the kids were working with apps and stuff like that, so I figured I'll shift over to something more app focused. So that's where I came up with the LifeSpark app builder, so that communities can go on and put their own voice clips, their own pictures, their own words for the communities in, so it could be used for any language anywhere in the world. But of course my passion and my heart is with the Cree people, especially having lived in Cumberland for several years. But that's where it started. So and I've kind of made the back end, and then Charlotte and Sina Pan and the rest of the team here just did most of the grunt work, getting all the audio and text into the app. So, thank you for welcoming me to your community.
And I just saw Troy come in, so Troy, we want to have Troy come and say some words on behalf of Chief and Council, on behalf of leadership, because for the committee, we've always tried to have somebody come in to sit with us from the Chief and Council, because it's not just our voices and our work, but it also needs to come back, relay back to leadership. So I just want to ask Troy to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize for being late. I looked at the clock, it was 2:30. I was like, oh, I better get going. Right when I walked in, I had my empty bed, and everyone was giving me the eye there. But I made it in time, and I'm glad everyone made it out here. I just want to say thank you to Kevin and Charlotte for doing an amazing job here, and Cinnamon, somewhere here. It's a very good program we have going here. I'm actually new to it. I'll start from the beginning here. Carol Nadal, my colleague there, it was about 2 years ago. This is a proposal from Canadian Heritage, she got it going. And then late Arnold, he took over the program. And then after his passing there in January, I was given the program just to help out, just to help Carol because she had a lot on her plate. So I helped her best I can. I'm actually new to it. I went to about 3 meetings, and all those meetings are so fun. Usually when I go to meetings, it's all serious, all certain dates, certain time, you have to be done something. These meetings, oh, they're so funny. Half the time I don't even know what they're saying because it's all in Cree, but I just stand there and listen the best I can and try to understand. The crazy ones are Patsy and Conrad and Simpson. I don't know where he is. But then Cinnapan gets involved, and sometimes we go into rabbit holes. We talk for something totally different for an hour, but the work gets done, and I'm so proud to be and glad to be part of this program. I just want to say thank you to Cinnapan for doing an amazing job. This is just the start. This is just a launch. I did get off the phone with Carol today. We are going to do our best to continue in the future here, possibly make school books here in Cree, like Dr. Seuss, just to continue to work as best we can. You guys are doing an amazing job, and thank you for giving me a few minutes to speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now I'm just going to ask if I have any of my committee members, if you can please stand. I see some in the front row here, so Patsy Netaho, let's give her a round of applause. She has to bow. She has to learn to take a bow. Just kidding, you don't have to bow. Muscat, Mary, if she can. Mustang, so we can keep going. See everybody? Bev is over here, Bev Bird. So we can give Bev a round of applause. I don't know if, Conrad is there, so we have to get Conrad right here. He has to come in front of us.
I gotta switch this around
Okay.
so I can see myself.
So Conrad's got to come over here so he can see himself. Conrad's also our technician guy. Is Simpson here? I don't know if Simpson's here, right? There were a few people who were not able to be here. Is Marchand here? Nolan? I don't know if he's here. So the other ones that I just want to mention that are were involved are Betsy Henderson. She wasn't able to be here. Rosella. Is Rosella here? No. She'd have to go. Okay. Rosella. Nolan, Jennifer, Patsy, Belinda wasn't able to be here. How about Glenn? Is Glenn here? I don't see Glenn. So Glenn Hockett. Lane Arnold was on our committee as well. And then we had a couple of special guests that came and joined us. We had to have some guinea pigs. So where's Don? Okay, Don is here. He's one of our willing guinea pigs that came in and said, the other one was Precious. She's not able to be here, but she was also a student, and so she came and joined us whenever she could in Saskatchewan. And as Simon mentioned, the whole program started, or the whole project started with a few people coming together to say, what are we doing to save our Cree language? And I was a student in my program in Indigenous Language Revitalization. And I know how difficult it is and how hard it is to reclaim your language if it's completely no speakers at all. And so one of the things we suggested is Canadian Heritage had an application that came through. Applications come through once a year. So we decided to put an application together, and that was the first one. It was a 1-year application, and the second application was a 2-year application. So we've just been working on it, like whatever we can work on. First there was a committee of about 7, I think, Patsy, is that right? About 7 of us came together, we met and trying to figure out, do we have any resources? Do we have any written material in Cree Does anybody have any tapes? Are there any cassette tapes, anything that where people record it? So in a language group, if there aren't very many speakers left, from what I know in my school and my research, is you have to start documenting the language. So just start documenting it. You can use the phone. What I mentioned that Abel's here with NBC and Cree Broadcasting. So I just want to give a shout out to Abel because of all the work he has been doing with NBC for the past 100 years. So let's give Abel a shout out here. He looks really, really good for 100. I remember when I was just really young, that was like a long time ago, we used to listen to Abel on the radio and we were like, wow, Mama Scots, somebody's talking Cree on the radio. And it was only for a short time. But NBC's been able to keep that language program going, and that's one of the ways that we keep language is to just keep hearing it, even if we don't understand. I think it was in Troy said sometimes in our meetings, all of the meetings would be in Cree, or the discussions would be in Cree. He didn't necessarily understand everything, but we would explain and we would translate what we were talking about because we had to write it up on the computer. So that's kind of how language works, is we have to hear it. We not necessarily have to write it right away, but part of our language work here on the committee was to try and help the school as well and help the community. So if you can hear it, and then eventually if you can see how it's written, then hearing it, seeing how it's written, having somebody live that can help you, that's part of what we're doing. Our language is going to come back all on its own because of an app. An app is just going to help us to bring that language back and use the language wherever we can. What this sign says here, Montreal, you see that on the other side? That's Montreal. And then up at the top, Gigi. So Gigi in your home. Ni. So speak the Woodland Cree. Speak Woodland Cree language. Oti, Wako. So be related to Aski, Nigwa, Ni. So be related to the land. Make relations with that land. Be on the land because that's where our language is going to come back. So I don't want to take up too much time from showing you the demonstration for the language app. I want to turn it now over to Sinapan Thunder, and she really does live up to her last name. I have to say, wherever we go with her, we're laughing, we're talking in Cree. She never lets us speak in English, and that's a really good thing because we slip back into English too frequently. So, tika kuit sa mga na miss. Gusto namin to be the project we're working on.
Dansa ng mga gumagantik. Pegaski ispilotse kautta viitato skemake koke munia sare uni wow ikitake ko ang moinga kaskitan kio pitswa maga mapachitlan yan pitswa. So, hello, my relatives, and my dialect. I wasn't familiar with PH dialect before I started working with Montreal Lake, and so a year ago, last year June, I started working with them, and it's just been a really fast, crazy ride with your people. They work me hard. And they'd say, I spend a lot of time with the speakers. I spent a lot of time with Wade Arnold. And we used to share that back and forth. I spent a lot of time with Muscat in the back rows. because through our discussions, she found out that I have Musquat in my name too, so she told me I'm her little sister, and I said, I'd be glad to be your little sister. I became related to a lot of the people on the committee, and that's how we are as Indigenous people. Eta wakuto, eta minskama, aya kakami mutota mahuma, ipiks will no, kakake kapinsitus kama, kapinbeta wakuto dos kaya, munches wakani hoitse, kapeta wakuto, ini yoya, ini yoya, evanistes iktuel, tatamskama. Ito naging kagay tenoma kay sini tsiko ke munyang sagay kan wiyaw tragik tagik pinatuskata ke pics welunwa pinoy tamoa tsiko twa sumswa abo ke moiches pagkatin nupsitik sama ko pewa sinapa kaya noutse Oho he mama tawa pati tsaka nakapin mamsiya. Kakwem chims kamahuhe, ipiks will no. Takiawa ni itoi. You are Woodland and we are Cree, but we're facing the same problem. Uskaya ko umuhini yoetik. It's the same problem we there. Maka. Nitsipite tenyoya, kakuskunaya ako kitwa sumsinuak. Ebo humatwa, kaya kam magig o sitake. Ispin mapatawa, inani was negatek. Kako ekskata mo kanke, kako inskulta mo kanke. Eksama ko kese, iswepin kia. Nikita manisimes. Wapatatawa, kikoya, wawait again. Kapinaya, agota, snamatukang ko, at tuskiyon ni. Ay sino kapag tinichi kawapata ko, epiniwas na ikatege. Epinmasimpay ikatege. Tama. Wiyaw kami, pero kung skakot si kama, kapin mga bata, it's going to wake them up. For them to see the language in the environment, for them to see the posters, the images, they'll be curious. They'll be curious enough and they'll start reading the Cree. Muy contento So I've been at this for a career. I spent almost 30 years in this area. And at times I went into community navigation. It was language I put at the front. It was knowledge I put at the front, Indigenous knowledge. It was our land relations I put at the front. Like if you really believe you can't lose it, you won't lose it. But you have to make that commitment from your heart. And these language committee worked really hard on this app, and that's what I'm going to demonstrate. We've been trying to get onto the internet, and so I think I have to go from my phone. I didn't do any of the recordings. You won't hear my voice, but you will hear on this here, up here, that's the wrong one. So I made it better. This poster has all of the language people on there, and the ones that have red circles around them, those are the voices you hear on the app. The ones that are in a light blue circle are our special guests, and us technicians are underneath that picture. I just put the wrong. Charlotte is really hard to please. I gave her this and she says it should look like this. So I think I ended up with this. But I'm going to switch up to this, and then I'll take this one. Okay, muy que no es. Okay, I'm just going to let my phone connect. There it is. So here's my phone. This one. You're going to see all my messages. So in the language app, it looks like this. You see this light spark in the corner here? When you if you're using Apple, you have access to the Light Spark app. If you're using Android, there might be some things we need to iron out with Androids. But this is an Apple phone, thank goodness, so we're going to look at it. So the Light Spark app, and I'm going to use that mic against my phone here. So there it is, ni ganas ni away with. And you see all these circles? Those are all categories. Those are 46 categories in total. So each one of them has the recordings inside. And I'm going to take you to, we have the oath of office for people who are interested in being leaders in your community. There's a requirement that you have to take an oath of office. We put that in here so you can practice, young people. You'll be able to do your oath of office in Cree. And so, where is it? Here's oath of office. When I press the arrow, it takes me to the next one. And not only that, another thing that I expressed to, that was expressed within the group is that when we have strong beliefs, when we have strong beliefs, those help us meet our challenges. It helps us overcome any barriers that might exist on our path. And so that was one of the reasons why we included the Lord's Prayer. And the Lord's Prayer was actually delivered by Rosella. And it's included in the app. Those are the two that I broken down into phrases, was the oath of office and the Lord's Prayer, so that you can hear them in full context once you go through the app. There's different a different number of words in every category, but in total there's 1,150 words. So all the images that you see as you go through them, those were all the words that were captured by recording. And we prepared those images. There was lots of words that, like mosquitos, and so there's lots of words we actually share between our dialects, and that's what I learned as we were doing these activities. So I'm going to take you away from this, and I'm going to take you to Itisuk. Now, Itisuk is a site that I am responsible for, and I have a website, and so this is where your material are. So if you go to Itisuk, this is itisuk.com, you'll see a selection that says MLC Nihito Iwin. And within that, I'll just take you back to the selection. You see, the way it has language resources, it has Pictionary booklets, it has language poster gallery, language posters, and elders audio. We were spending time recording the elders. Simpson did a lot of the recording. Conrad did some. Patsy, did you do recording? Or one of the ladies did recording. And we recorded Musqua. We recorded Jennifer, we recorded Betsy, and those are right here under Elders Audio. So when you look to it, you'll see Betsy Henderson, and you just scroll right past. Here's Melinda Natao, and they're talking about food they used to eat. And so if you want to listen to that, I have a YouTube channel that I put it on, and so
muskrat, beaver, but I got sick eating too much beaver tail. Eat too much store-bought stuff with flour and larding.
So you have a lot of resources available here. You can also download those. They're free for downloading. Under this, you have the Pictionary booklets. There's 46 booklets in total. And we actually went through preparing those in print. And so we have booklets. We have word find booklets that we created. These were created by the language committee. Some were created by myself. We also have posters like this to put up so that you can practice counting. You can see the number. Oh, something's going on here. Melinda's still talking. Okay, there. So under all the resources that were created for the language app, those are supporting the work of the language committee. So we also have game boards. you can use dice to play game boards. Roll the dice and whoever fills a box first, there's up to 4 players on this game, and then you say the word when you land on it. And so I also did some other game boards for colors, so you know how to use your colors. That's what the games were all about. In the language class, and this is the upside down. This is the colors. Take the game board. And so if I landed on blue for inanimate, I would have to say blue with a non-living object. So I can say, Sipi Gua Pi Tapuwi. And I would have to try to very hard for us. Pi Tapuwi, I said. Okay, so, and then there's also animate. Miss Goso at him. Red dog. So these are, and I brought all these little game pieces for the kids, for their classrooms, dice. So whatever will make them enjoy the language, that's what we focus on. Whatever makes them laugh, whatever makes them enjoy being with their wagumakan, playing with them. This is not just focusing on language, but it's focusing on good relations. And that's what we are. No matter if you're Woodland, I'm Plains, Ewakutua. We are related. And when we are related, that space that we share, we keep it in a good way. We have a responsibility to keep it in a good way. And I've been so privileged to spend time with all the members of the language committee, because I have so much admiration for your First Nation. You do so much in land-based. You do so much in cultural camps, and plus you do lots in language. And I believe that you are paving the way for other nations to follow your lead. And I know that, I don't know if Kevin mentioned it, but I will. Kevin said, Kevin told us that Montreal Lake has the most words in their language app. So Montreal Lake is not the only nation that's using the language app, but they're the ones who have compiled the most words. So they have 1,150 words in 46 categories. That's a lot of work they did, and I was glad to be part of it. And then asked ko makakyo tumuye kapewa niyo akong takot ay tinanas ko tinalaw tinigi.
I just want to say, tinigi, tinasco. It's been a real many sleepless nights. Putting it all together, and it wouldn't be possible if people like Kevin, like Steve and the elders, the speakers, if nobody was committed to do the work, it would not be possible. It would take many years to have this completed. So we have a few acknowledgements we'd like to do, and I just want to say we have I think there's a QR code, or we're going to show a QR code on here. And it's a place where you can enter your email address. And if you don't have a QR code or a phone, or you don't know how to do it, we'll take your information down on the desk over here for registration to get your email from you, because we'd like to have a way to connect with anybody who is using the app for the very first little while. If there's anything that goes wrong, we need to be able to easily connect with you. So we would like to get your email address. We're not going to share it with anybody. We're not going to give it away to anyone. Woodland, but we just want to have their email. So if I could get the committee to come up, Bev, is Bev here? If I could get her to come up, we have some acknowledgements we would like to do. Some Bev. And when I say sleepless nights, this is another night talk. You know, she's another all-nighter. So I just want to turn the phone, I was going to say, turn the microphone over to Bev and have her say a few words of her experience and what we've done and what we're going to do next.
Good afternoon, Dinige. Nice to be meeting. A special thank you to our brother Kevin Wendell, sister Siniban. Thank you for all the work that you've done for us. I heard this is just the beginning, so I hope there's more crazy meetings with the committee. I see Patsy giggling already. Looking at Conrad here. So when we started this program 2 years ago, we weren't sure what to expect, but within the 2 years that we've had this, it's been nothing but fun. We had so much fun at our meetings. We were serious, and yet we had a lot of fun. Had a lot of incidents that happened, and Conrad can acknowledge some of them. With that, presentations, okay, so my baby girl Precious came for lunch with me one time at our meetings. That was like about a year and a half ago. So we were meeting in Saskatoon, so she came for lunch, and she never left. So every time we met in Saskatoon, she'd come in, knowing there was going to be food, but she knew that she had to learn some words. So she kind of got accepted into the committee, like she got included. And we were talking a few weeks ago, we were told her that this launch was coming, but she didn't realize it was going to be today. So maybe if you're listening, talking about you. So anyways, she wanted to do something to give back. And she had this good idea at the time to do ribbon skirts to give back to the committee. So she decided, okay, all the ladies in the committee is going to get a ribbon shirt, a ribbon skirt, and all the guys are going to do, all the committee members are going to get a ribbon shirt. So yesterday when I checked with her, she was like, she couldn't make it to this meeting today. So after work, I took off to Saskatoon. I went and picked up the ribbon skirts, came back, I met Siniban, got some more ribbon shirts, came back. So with that, all the guys are getting a ribbon shirt, and all the ladies in the committee are getting a ribbon skirt, and that is a gift from Precious she's giving back to the committee. I guess we'll get them to come up. Okay, well, first of all, we'll check Conrad. We had to go to Saskatoon to get these shirts. I couldn't fit them in, I couldn't find them in PA. So I hope it fits. These shirts I kind of finished off this morning. So, next we have Troy. Benoit. Is Troy here? Troy. Give us easy. Ask him, Troy.
Nobody has iPhones?
The bus will be ready in 5 minutes for the kids. Okay, is Simpson here? Oh, there's Simpson. Were you here all along? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Simpson. You can ask Simpson. I don't know if there's
Kevin Liddell.
Okay, Kevin Waddell, come on down to front stage. And I must say, these were all done without, we had to do virtual fittings. And Precious is watching live, so I think you guys will have to come out this way so she can see you on this side. Oh, that, put that. Donnie. Aston. I don't think Nolan is here.
Okay, for the ladies,
And then the ladies, if we could have Sinapan. Yeah. Sinapan, if she could come up.
that's it. Okay.
Conrad Perry again. Tama, kaya kinanta ko siya. They met in the way to my.
And Jennifer. Ikaw naman nagkakita, siyo ka. Jennifer, yes. Jennifer.
Mary?
Kitty ka?
This is for Google Mascot.
And this was all part of the plan. I'm just kidding. We just found out about this just a little while ago, so it's like, when we do things as a group, it's, there's never just one person who does all the work. We all lift it up. So that's what we've been doing, it's just lifting up the language.
Thank you, Precious. I have one, but, look at
Musco's caught in her skirt.
Okay.
And then Bev, we have a skirt for her too.
I have one.
Okay.
I'm also got a skirt.
Yeah. So Musco will get Musco to come up.
Hold on, let's see.
Did y'all move this?
Yeah, for now, yeah. And maybe get closer together.
All those other ones I have every
Simpson. Okay, no,
So we're just gonna do a photo op here with the committee. We'll put the ladies in front. But see vertical in the crowd, sorry.
Very good. Okay. Your camera on.
Thank you so much, Precious. Before everybody goes, I have a little announcement to make. We have a couple of gifts here to give to Cinnabon. So I don't know where she went. Cinnabon, we have a couple of gifts for you from the committee. That's Rosella, is one of our
committee, the
one of our
Bev committee.
committee members, and she made a moose hair tufting for her. And then we have another one here too. That one's from our librarian made that one. And these gloves are, and then some earrings. So on the gloves are the syllabics, so there's actually syllabics on those gloves. And they're made by one of our band members, by Blanche.
Yeah, not quite been syllabics.
And we just have another gift for one more gift here for our other community members who come out. So if Abel could come up, Abel's looking at me like, huh? What do you mean?
Digo, stand there.
You know, one of the things we have across our Woodland Cree is the Hoako one. So, you know, to have the relationship, to extend that relationship out with our relatives. And so I just want to present this to Abel. He's officially now one of ours. So now, 11 meeting back here.
And I have, if you're a student that is in the audience, I have one word of advice, or maybe 2 words of advice. How's the biggie? Don't give up. Continue on. Persevere. Yeah, so the minute you know my like was happening to get with. The other minutes I community Saskatchewan. It's a passion of mine. May language so pinigay that skill mo ako sa kanila.
And I think that's the conclusion of our part. We're going to continue on, and Simon just has a few words that he's going to share with the boarding homes, or ICFS. So you can go on the website and take a look at all the resources that we've created. As well, we have a demo of the LifeSpark app for Montreal Cree language. So if you send us your email to either, I guess, Conrad on his comments, and we can collect those email addresses, we can send you a link for the demo, and then we'll take it from there. So I just want to say thank you again to Simon and to everybody who made this afternoon possible. All the cooks, to the elders who did our opening prayer, blessing of the food, and to the community members who have been here throughout the whole afternoon, anticipating what's going to happen. So it's been a fun afternoon, lots of food, lots of fun, and lots of information. So I've got packages to take home to my family as well for the boarding school, so I just want to thank Simon for that. And I'll turn it over to Miss. She's going to give us this is going to be called the bird's eye view of the app, and where you can find our language resources.
Ayan, ni kano mo hiwi ko si tayan ayan. Mange tuwe si chikan. Ayan, kapinpeto koma. Kapinpeto. Maka umut kano ka ego manipis ko mo chikan. Ya baca pasti solo te. Ayan, ego tanan ipis ko no kapinayas te. Tapos ko sa rumah language app ego makakihusik kaya kakipen mawat kaya expel na ewatat ekakyo epenasteke ewake sis ichimitaka kamitanaw itagoke itueuna expel na ekakestaya ken tatagakita so ako no ako maganak this is what we know. He's been kinotex kay tenawa kamego penaste egota ute minuma wichiso aya erta masnegane ni pinmasnahe tapos kutso dictionary so aya this is what okay neon tanaway wa tepako itagoche pinwini Iyo sa mas nahamane ko tanda kawan expel na eputak kasteke ewa iska noy wa kaya ko panuhon magewa ka tawa eputak kapinote na me atos ewa kapinote na me mas na mina mas pay chikana iyo seputak kaya pamunta mo iboke Munia usape kan ego mapagkak kyo kapen Aztec ang language app pero ne pinapachita yan mo boxe mas nenga na pinosita yan eba kanoke taman pute pako umuta kakapetawa Poko siwe taman Jeswa kita makakocita distance me katsoma muikkane viikko pehtaavan maaka sakit petaukset sekä peta kita toka masin pai language posters Emi te koke e wahu mua ka ke usita moake anke ka pen red circle ka pen wase wa kama e pen masne ka ke penanke ka pen petak se na language app e wa da to koke ai speak data ke ka pen petak se penanke mana ka Mate, Eva, you said to keep quiet if you can away, or we take away that to get up in a mota to go mota, Mamma, Dava, chicken. If ya cape static, okay, Capinani, Yoetic, Evo Sky, cooking a skitatic, Capin. Peta ke kama ke bixwell no wow, mina we wow, pen kagots me yoe, ni hiloe tek. If sama he se mi wa pati ta uma language a, e we wa kota ka ki ko ya, ki tota ma wa doctor as anwa. Eva, e ki tota ma mas ne na ko si tekate ke, e woni mina. Isipan also hehewata kaste kehewa dito kemes kutas na hagik weasuos na ikanats kama do kam kohotse uti se ute na utena sa hakuas atitas ikana moi pagtinuit si pikswe mo sa kanya pinapachita eva no toy wekta Pohon kito si kakwe slips kama kotswit haya ko ke awasa uskaya pin usna make wakapin sa situs ko at ko kito asum sino eva kakiwan ye category so taka penuka ke omuta eska kakyo ho taka penuka ke categories ka si ata makapapis kits ka pinastaya ya ita tuewna evonan de heroes mas nega nemina het nastaya taps kutsuma ayon sa hube mas nega yap ayon sa no pa eva tansa pa kay krisna pa hepota kispen kita ya Umote, clothing ni ganito ne. As pastagan siya pero kami na kota pero niyo ko pinuwan as pastagan. Tato ko ke ni higawi when kaping sama ketse. Tato ko ke kaping kaskita tsik ni higawi when kapinay tsik. Kikuat asika kaskita na wauhe kaste eva hotse kotse sitos koae ko kichwa suwawak kapin peta ke kama pixwewan mina kapin kakots ni yawetse mina hohe metawewna kipin waweta kapin Wita pemichik. Ayamana awasa sa hoskay kikwe katakakita noats manekota inong diatus net inong diatus katama kikwe kami wita mikot ewa taps ko saya uhimina papis kits ikiwa wita uhiwiya kakio home and food ay sigate niskay ko se usip tami ko ikwe kapin no pa ke hota language app eva pega ma in the kitchen put that in the home eva ma biscuits meat and food eva na ni sota ke ni pachita ya ma mesh wake. Ewa mana hoke kaps mua cek tuasem senoa. Ewa nan kike pakapen metoe cekuma. Ay dahil so he. Dan so menikawi guys ya. Tadi masih kesenatan mas naik atau nanto. Maka ewa nan ka ciri acik. Dia akan which network kecil kita tahu mana ikan kasar senata ekoma penuh mesti kuat ewan tahu tapi ini masih ini tak kawasa ke metoa kecil maka dia ini apes itu matoa ayah masih baik masih baik terasa ciko ke sisko kakio peko mas diwe bisa mas nengan uma kakio petake pada mas neng asu cek kak mesti kawi ciko nawa aya kecuali sakawi ciko kapen wawa pata keko ni yo wetan cek ni tas neka tek minatan cek ni subi cek ewa aku mina waku tuin ewa dan oke gue suswat gue kohoma jespa gue koho pizza and posters lagi away so this is a number of posters that you can actually have in your home ewa kapi at kitsoasos and I need by istahan na kawit sipo just one line, 10 animals a day. Kaki tangkap ini kerja, kaki tangkap ini bentang, kakas kita wakam makat ini kis saja. Mine bahawa ka pinani hiawe, kutami naga konstruta mo, kaki kita mo kama, kikwai kape. Ayah ka pinsesawi itu tak, bersama sueta se awas eskesis inontahi. Pokoknya kakek kapela ini hiawe, inani hiawe. Semana misi mawat mana ayah pokoknya kakek inani hiawe kapela boye koma. Kio aku kakek saya temen nak sama visitos kadang. Ni hiawe wana buni hitawe kispen beta tawa pati spa kana ni hitawe eftam wistawa we na ni hiawe aya nyoya taimi aya pitch weon wa kapits wa maka nikago cita nasko papa pisun moinanto maka Tuho kikaki pewi tapmakek, Mr. Hector, niyo ako 20 Spain. Kusama imong sikita ya, ewa-wait na mo ay ako ko, ikuskaya. Ayaw tatos ewi no ako. Pito sa mingan no ako, hindi gawin. Ewa, tuho kamana ka, pinawawit tapmakek. Ewa na may muskawa. Umantos ke wanda penatus kata mah penmius kawa meskons mana sama kaki itu aja enang tawi kohoma kani yowe kanani itowe ina tawi ko mius kawa nota sama kayak kis penawiyat note tawi tamo mas naik kana Moinan tahu ni kaya kenan kapin mas neke tahama kapin pawai tamuat kapin pawai tamuaya ako nuwago makan na ako minang kapin ais na ako kapit ya kapin agwata kapin wapata kikamutan sa mas neka ako minang at akitsikew na kapin agwata hindi pa na awit ka kaya kawan stage pagka kikam tata tamit talong versus kikam tata which day mama ka niwi ko and they're made on cardstock, so this is really hard paper. And, you know, you wait it back, take it home. Sasi sawi, kapitawi, kukitas, maka, iba, katakawan, ay, lumita to square makan. Ewe, panikatempo at tawas ng miyana, utut sa kanoma, juicy, tataya, ita, kapino, wawi, taya, kikas kita, skupta, kaya, kikway kawichi, kuya, ewan, kan kabaw, kape, pigs pa, tamatan, kita, pata, kesa, kacita, maka, Nisim, Kevin, you now. Wait on to.
They had to wait.
So we're just going to do Kevin will have a short diversion because we're just wrapping up towards the end of our program. So just want to tell us a little bit about LifeSpark and about the app.
Tamsik, Kevin Waddell, Seniaston. I created, used to work in Cumberland House, Cree Nation, as a computer teacher there. And there I saw how a lot of the kids didn't speak the language anymore. And, that saddened me, so I wanted to, when I was up there, I started to use some of my gifts as a computer programmer to work on some software programs in the computer lab. Eventually I left Cumberland and one of the elders gave me a kick in the butt and said, you get working on some of that stuff again. By then things were on to mobile apps and phones and stuff like that, so I switched my focus on to starting to work in the mobile realm, and that's where the LifeSpark app builder came from. So that allows any community, doesn't have to be Cree, but just any community anywhere in the world can go on and create an app for revitalizing your language. So that's where that came from. So I kind of developed the back end to build the app, and then Charlotte and Sinapan and the rest of the team are the ones that put in the nice work that you see visually here. Sinapan designed a lot of the graphics here that you see, and the committee came up with all the words and recorded the voices and stuff like that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. One of the things that I wanted to just mention is that it took a long time to get to the app, to get it working. We will have two versions. So we'll have the Android and then the Apple, I think it's called the Apple version, or the iOS Apple system, the Apple Store. So in both versions we'll have the Woodland TH and the Y, things pretty Y. So right now we have the Android TH developed, and that'll get moved over into the Apple system as well. And then once we have the plain screen Y, the written part is finished, we're just going to start working on the audio from our speakers. And then those will get pushed out into the Apple system as well. So I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here right till the very end. It's been a really good afternoon, and thanks to Simon. We had a joint event. We've had a really interesting journey up to now, and I'm sure it's going to get even better. So it's coming now.
I gotta get myself on the speaker.
You're outside. I think.
Usually what we try to do is really try to capture people while they're gathering together, and seeing as though that most of the people are already gone or have already heard both presentations, so we can announcement that. So what we're going to do is we're going to close in prayer. I think for those folks that may have wanted to come for the presentation, because this part is scheduled and this part is finished. But if you know anybody that was still coming, because there's a lot of folks that still work out there and then are coming out at 5 o'clock, we'll be here at the school kind of give a little bit of a quick presentation for the Indian Boarding Home Program. So that's what we're going to do. But for now, we're going to close this prayer in prayer, and then we're still going to be hanging around here for anybody that has any questions for the Indian Boarding Home Program. But for the most part, Gina has some forms out there if anybody wants to pick them up. So if that's okay, we'll close in prayer. And Senator Nolan, thank you very much. I'll bring this over to you and maybe give us a couple words as we close.
Thank you, Simon. Tinigin Jerusalem, Pagsachi, and Dotabagi, what that's in the Missy, while we chill the Aqua, Kapivichim and Maki Peace Window. Stay on the one. I don't know when the Mutano, Sky, Iga, Minnesota. Big squid na chita. Gusto mo kung nag-basics ko ay ang nag-basics ko kasi Jimmy naman. Diba? Yung tinas ko ako ko dato kami muskanta ako ma big squid. Ako ichi Kristo ako. Diba minta pa nagyagi awit na kumaya ako din. Mutas ka na si naging committee. Different meals in Saskatchewan. Then we were waiting 1 hour. Isa po, tapos ko sinam siya, kaya skis na ako namin listan. So, I just want to thank the committee, thank the people that worked on the language app to now, and Charlotte, Roxanne, kami nigis kami pumunta, nigatis kami, at minagis to, tinas na, dahil there was any committee members that we could Let me thank them all. With that, as we close off this part, you should have the Excuse no, kailan po, ito mag-touch niya ang future ng future. Ang ska, kumina, pumunta kisipita o hawas sa what the kids have been hearing here today, that with the Cree language app and the ability to be able to learn the language of Cree, it is a very important part of your culture. And, for any cultural understanding and your way of thinking, there are people out there that you'll hear when they're learning something new, that they refer to it as learning it in Cree. And Stevita, so there's gives them another avenue to learn. And that's what the languages do. It just gives you an opportunity to learn a way of, it's a set way of learning. And perhaps for those of you that don't understand Cree now, but you might appreciate what I'm saying 10, 15 years after you've used the language, and then a new concept comes your way, and that you'll have another way of understanding what that concept is. So in saying that, to all the instructors, to all the Cree people in this room, Kinotinas now, with those that are reaching, see what